Indian Companies Act has given a simple meaning to equity shares. According to Companies Act, equity shares are those which are not preference shares. Shares are generally of two types now, preference shares, equity shares. If any share is not coming under the category of preference share, then we have to presume it as equity share. That is the meaning of equity share. So by seeing this meaning, you may not get complete idea about equity share. To get complete idea about equity share, one should know about the features of equity share. First point is dividend payment. Related with the dividend payment, remember these 3 points. First one, they get dividend after dividends are paid on preference shares. For example, in 2019 year, company got a profit of 20 lakh rupees. First, company took loans from creditors now. Company should pay interest to them. Say interest amount is 12 lakh rupees. Then remaining profit is 8 lakh. This 8 lakh profit belongs to shareholders now. While paying the dividend to them, first preference will be given to preference shareholders. Preference shareholders dividend is prefixed. Company has to pay 3 lakh rupees to them. When that amount is deducted from the available profit, then the remaining amount 5 lakh goes to equity shareholders in the form of dividend. Thus, they get the dividend after the payment of dividend to preference shareholders. Then second point is the rate of dividend depends on the profits of the company. Rate is not fixed, it is fluctuating. For example, in 2000 year, company sold equity shares to public. There is one shareholder known as Gopi. He purchased 20,000 equity shares at the rate of 10 rupees in primary market. And in 2017 year, based on the company's profit, board of directors declared 10% dividend on equity shares. Then how much dividend Gopi gets? The face value of his shares is 20,000 shares into 10 rupees each, that is 2 lakh. So into dividend percentage is equal 20,000. So in 2017, Gopi gets 20,000 dividend on his equity shares. In 2018, assume company's profits are more and the company declared 12% dividend on equity shares. Then face value into 12%, that is 24,000. In 2018 year, Gopi gets 24,000 rupees dividend on his shares. In 2019, profits are not up to the mark and the company declared 6% dividend to equity shareholders. Then nominal value into 6% is 12,000 rupees. And in next year 2020, there is some loss and there are no existing profits, there are no reserves to pay the dividend to shareholders. So company decided not to pay dividend to equity shareholders. So in 2020, Gopi doesn't get any dividend. If you observe here, Gopi's dividend is not fixed. It is fluctuating. It depends on the profit. If profits are more, equity shareholder gets more dividend. If profits are less, he gets less dividend. In case of loss, he may not get any dividend. Then, third point is there is no rule that company should compulsory pay dividend to equity shareholders in case of profit. In our example, when there is some profit, company is declaring dividend to equity shareholders, no? But dividend payment to equity shareholders is not mandatory. There is no statutory rule that in case of profit, company should compulsory declare dividends to equity shareholders. Even though there is some profit, company can refuse to pay the dividend to equity shareholders. Instead of paying the dividend to them, company can use that profit amount for other purpose. For example, to establish new branches or for manufacturing new products, for entering into new service lines, or for paying its loans. In this case, equity shareholders cannot demand for their dividend. They cannot go to court. They cannot file a case against company for their dividends. So this is all about first point, dividend payment. Now second one is repayment of principal amount. Regarding second feature, repayment of principal amount, you should know 2 points. First one is the equity share capital cannot be redeemed during the lifetime of the company. Company needs capital, no? That capital requirement is of 3 types: short term capital, medium term capital, long term capital. If company needs finance for less than 1 year period to meet day-to-day expenses, then that finance or that capital is called short term capital. If company needs finance for more than 1 year and less than 7 years, then that capital is called medium term capital. Sometimes company need capital for long period till it is liquidated. Company need some amount. Generally, this capital is needed to acquire fixed properties. Company depends on equity shares for its long-term capital requirements because equity share capital is permanent capital to the company. In case of preference shares, you can see redeemable preference shares, irredeemable preference shares. And as you know, irredeemable preference shares should not be issued according to Indian Companies Act. So, preference shares, debentures, these two are redeemable. Company cannot keep that amount till liquidation. But equity capital, company can use for long-term purpose. For example, in 2011 year, company issued 20,000 equity shares at the rate of 10 rupees each to Gopi. So how much money Gopi invested in the company? 20,000 shares at the rate of 10 rupees, 2 lakh. This 2 lakh is known as principal amount. So every year Gopi gets dividend, and when Gopi can get back this 2 lakh rupees only at the time of liquidation. Suppose company is liquidated in 2020 year. At that time only company returns this 2 lakh rupees to Gopi. Company has to pay the dividend to Gopi till 2020. Sometimes it may become a permanent burden to company. Suppose company wants to return Gopi's principal amount in 2016. Company used the 2 lakh rupees. Company invested that amount in some projects. Now that projects are yielding sufficient income. Now company wants to return this principal amount to Gopi, so that from 16 to 20 company need not to pay dividend to him. Then there is one option. By following SEBI guidelines, company can go for payback of shares. Okay, so generally equity share capital is permanent capital to the company, but by using the option of paying back of shares, company can redeem them before the liquidation date. It doesn't give the meaning that for 2 lakh rupees Gopi has to wait till 2020. Suppose in 2011 company sold 20,000 equity shares to Gopi now at 10 rupees each. Then company issued share document to Gopi and Gopi paid 2 lakh rupees principal amount to company. What I explained here, till 2020 company can keep this 2 lakh with it, and every year company pays dividend to Gopi. Now when company sells shares to investor for the first time, this market is known as primary market. Suppose in 2013 Gopi wants to get back his principal amount. So So he cannot demand from the company because it is equity share, it is permanent capital to the company. There is another option. With the help of one mediator, nothing but stock exchange, Gopi can sell his shares to another investor. Stock exchange. There are two stock exchanges now, NSE, BSE. So through stock exchange, he can exchange the shares to another investor and he can get back his principal amount. Suppose Gopi sold these shares to Murali. Then both go to company. In company's register, Gopi's name will be replaced with Murali's name. From 2013 onwards, company starts paying dividends to Murali. Suppose Murali need his capital amount back in 2018 year. Murali need not to go to company. Murali can sell that shares through stock exchange to another investor known as Kiran. In this case, Murali and Kiran both go to company. When they inform about this exchange, then in company's register, Murali's name will be replaced with Kiran's name. Now company starts paying dividends to Kiran. Company is liquidated in 2020 now. At the time of liquidation, shares are registered with Kiran's name. So company returns these 2 lakh rupees to Kiran in 2020. So remember, for company, equity share capital is permanent capital. It doesn't give the meaning that Gopi has to wait till the time of liquidation for his principal amount. If he needs the money before the liquidation, through stock exchange, through secondary market, he can sell these shares to other investor. Then first point is completed. Now the second point which you should remember regarding repayment of principal amount is here. Equity shareholders get a principal amount after principal amount is paid to preference shareholders. At the time of liquidation, company assets are sold for 120 crore. Now from this sale proceeds, company should return the principal amount of 50 crore to creditors. Then the remaining sale proceed is 70 crore. While returning this amount to shareholders, first preference will be given to preference shareholders. Suppose they invested 30 crore rupees in the company. Company pays that amount to preference shareholders. Now the remaining amount belongs to equity shareholders. Thus, while taking the dividend, while taking back the principal amount, last preference is given to equity shareholders. That is why equity shareholders are known as residual owners. And equity shares are also known as ordinary shares, because generally common man prefers to purchase equity shares from the company. Then the next point is capital gain. In case of equity share, shareholder can earn some capital gains. Means what? Observe the same example. Gopi purchased shares from company in 2011. No? 2011, 2012, Gopi takes dividend from the company. Suppose Gopi retained the shares with him till the time of liquidation. Then how much money company returns to Gopi? Only his principal amount, that is 2 lakh rupees. So here only dividend is the benefit to Gopi. But generally people buy shares not only to earn dividend, to earn even capital gain also. Capital gain means what? Let us see. In 2013, why Gopi is selling these shares to Murali? Because during this period 2011-12, company's performance is good. Company is paying more and more dividends to shareholders. Company is going to improve. Then in capital market, people show interest to invest in company shares. But how many shares are available with company? Already company sold all those shares in primary market now. Now people cannot get a fresh issue from the company. But what they can do, from a person who is possessing this company shares, they can buy now. While purchasing, they are ready to pay more because company is doing well. As demand is more, Gopi can sell these shares for more than 10 rupees. So from company he purchased these shares at 10 rupees now. You know this is called face value. Now in secondary market, suppose Gopi sold this company shares to Murali at the rate of 15 rupees each. Now on one share, Gopi is getting a profit of 5 rupees. This 5 rupees is known as capital gain. Only in case of equity share, shareholders can earn capital gains. Then next point is, in case of equity shares, company may issue bonus shares and write shares to them. Then next one, no charge on assets. For example, company need 100 crore capital. Company took loan for 30 crore rupees from creditors, and for 70 crore company issued equity shares to public. Here, when company is taking 30 crore rupees from creditors, to creditors company has to give some assets as security. As company is taking 30 crore loan, 30 crore worth property company should pledge with them. But in case of equity shares, company need not to offer any asset as a security. Company takes 70 crore from them, and as a proof, company issues one equity document in electronic form, in dematerialized form. The next feature is voting rights. Equity shareholders are having general voting rights. You know, resolutions are of two types: ordinary resolutions, special resolutions. Equity shareholders have the right to vote on all resolutions placed before the company. That is why these people are known as real owners of the company, because on all issues they can take decisions. Next, nominal value. When we compare with the nominal value of preference share, equity share nominal value is less. Generally, one preference share face value or nominal value will be 100 rupees and above. But in case of equity share, maximum nominal value of one share is 10 rupees. Generally, company issues equity shares with a nominal value of 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 5 rupee or 10 rupees. Last point is choice of issue. Issue of preference share is not mandatory for company. It is optional. But compulsory, every public limited company has to issue equity shares to public. Thus, issue of equity share is mandatory to the company. So, features of equity shares topic is completed.